Now our topic is how to find the rules. So ano ba yung rules or mas kilala natin bilang end term in order for us to find the next term. So ito yung mismong idea ng rule. So without further ado, let's try to find out. So for example, we have a sequence of 8, 13, 18, and 23, 28. So this is actually a pattern of sequence. Okay? So this sequence is a unique one. Why? Because if you try to analyze yung 13, yung 8, 18, 23 is somewhat parang pareho sila. Okay? But first, let's try to discuss about the terms. Ang 8 natin is actually the first term. 13 is the second term. Third term ang 18, fourth term ang 23, and fifth term ang 28, and so on and so forth. So this is actually term. So paano ba gumawa ng rule or paano ba gumawa ng end term? Okay? The first thing you do is to find kung ano yung difference nito. Kasi kung analyze natin yung 13 and 8, pag sinabtract natin yan, that is equal to 5. Yung ating 18 minus 13 is also 5. Ang ating 23 minus 18 is also 5. And also 28 minus 23 is also 5. So therefore, ang difference ng bawat term from first to second, second to third, third to fourth, and fourth to fifth is already 5. So this is a first essential para sa pag-create natin ng rule. The next one is what we call the n minus 1. N minus 1 is a fixed rule. Fixed na siya in the sense na from the term na meron tayo, n minus 1 is being used. For example, if we try to put 1 there, 0 na talaga yan. So, ang first term natin, that is 2, minus 1 is kaya sign 1. So, yung n minus 1, kung marami nagtatanong sa inyo dito kung fixed, that is also a fixed fixed term natin or kung paano natin gamitin yung rule. The next one is the first term. So, ito yung ingredients natin in order for us to find the rule or the end term. Okay? So, paano ginagawa? So, first is you have to follow this process. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus d multiplied by n minus 1. Where d is the common difference, a sub 1 is the first term, n minus 1 is the term. Okay? So, nung ginagawa lang, simply substitute lang yung 8 at saka yung 5. And then, notice yung 5 natin, we can multiply n minus 1 using 5 by simply 5n minus 5. Then after that, gather like terms. So, yung 5n, wala naman siyang katulad dyan sa kanyang nasasakupan. So, in other words, yung 8 lang and then 5 ang ating gagalawin. So, that is 8 minus 5. That is 3 plus 5n. Now, this one is your n, the rule or the end term. So how are we going to show that this is the real rule based on 8, 13, 18, 23, 28 sequence, number of sequence? By simply putting this one to prove this one. So let's just say a sub 5 is equal to 28. So we will prove that a sub 5 is equal to 28. So paano? Apply the formula. Yung n natin dyan, magiging 5 na yan. So a sub 5 is equal to 3 plus 5n. So ipapalitan natin yung n, gawin natin 5. So that is 3 plus 5 multiplied by 5. But what is 5 multiplied by 5? That is 25. And the sum of 3 plus 25 is 28. So we can now conclude that a sub 5 is equal to 28. So that's how to find the rule. Another problem that we have is what we call this kind of sequence. 31, 25, 19, 13, and 17. So kung titingnan ninyo, hindi naman siya pwedeng i-multiply. So meaning, we have to find the difference out of this. So pag minus natin, by the way, this is the first term, second term, third term. Parating yung tatandaan na to enumerate the terms of every sequence para hindi kayo mahirapan sa pagpuprove natin ng kanilang difference. Okay? So alam naman natin ng a sub 2 subtract natin sa a sub 1, a sub 1, that is 25 minus 31, that is negative 6. A sub 3 minus a sub 2 is 19 minus 25 is negative 6. The same with 13 minus 19 is negative 6, and so on and so forth. So since ito ay pare-pareho sila negative 6, meaning the common difference na meron sila is negative 6. So ito ay isa sa mga ingredients to find the rule. The next is what we call the fixed n minus 1. Okay, and also the last is the first term where a sub 1 is equal to 31. So, what are we going to do? Apply the formula of a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus t multiplied by n minus 1. Where a sub 1 is equal to 31, ang d natin is negative 6 at yung ating term, okay, no, which is n minus 1. So, 31. Yung negative 6, i-multiply natin sa n minus 1. So, meaning this is negative 6n plus 6. So, what is 31 plus 6? Okay? 31 plus 6 now is equal to 37 minus 6n. So, this is our n term. Just like I told you, we have to prove whether this is the proper n term. By simply proving the rule na meron tayo by simply proving that a sub 5 is equal to 7. So how are we going to find out? So a sub 5 is equal to 37 minus 6n, where n is equal to 5. So that is 37 minus 30 because 6 times 5 is 30. So 37 minus 30 is equal to 7. So ang a sub 5 natin is 7. Therefore, we can now conclude that our rule here is definitely the correct rule. The next problem is medyo kakaiba. If you try to analyze, syempre a sub 1 natin 8, a sub 2, a sub 3, a sub 4, then a sub 5. So dito kung titingnan natin 8 and then 16, parang nag-multiply tayo ng 2. Hindi naman tayo pwede mag-add ng 8 kasi pag 16 plus 8 is 24, 30 ito ang kasunod. So meaning this is being multiplied by 2. So, how are we going to prove na multiply by 2? Simply follow the pattern na meron tayo o pattern where common ratio is equal to a sub 2 divide natin sa a sub 1. So, a sub 2 natin is 16 divided by 8. This is 2. Another, a sub 3 divided by a sub 2, that is 32, divide natin by 16, which is also 2. And so on and so forth. Okay? So kung titingnan natin, kung pare-pareho sila ng 2, meaning ito na mismo yung tinatawag nating common ratio. So this is a number being multiplied to 8, 16, 32, 64 para makuha yung next term. So, again, how to find the rule? At the same time, still fix pa rin natin yung term natin which is n minus 1. And also you have a sub 1, the first term of a sub 1 is equal to 8. So how are we going to find this rule na meron tayo? Simply apply this formula. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 multiplied by r raised to the power of n minus 1. So, paano ba hanapin yan? A sub n natin is 8. 2 natin doon. So, this is now your n term. Okay? So, 8 natin. This is our rule na meron tayo. So, how are we going to prove that? Siyempre, a sub 5 is equal to 128 kaagad. So, anong gagawin natin? Kung 5 yan, so 8 times 2, 5 raised to the power of 5 minus 1, where 5 minus 1 is equal to 4. So, therefore, this is 8 multiplied by 2 raised to the power of 4. So, what is 2 raised to the power of 4? That is actually equal to 16. 8 multiplied by 16, this is actually equal to 128. Okay? So, that is the next example. The other example that we have is medyo kakaiba siya. Okay? So, dito ang hanapin natin, pabaliktad. So, this is actually descending order. So, from highest papunta sa lowest is a descending order. So, if you try to analyze the first term, the second term, so anong gagawin natin? Medyo may pattern siya kung titingnan ninyo, pero hindi siya consider addition, but it's a multiplication process. So how are we going to find that? We use the common ratio a sub 2. So a sub 2 natin, divide natin ngayon by a sub 1, which is 81 divided by 243 is 1/3. Ang ano natin, 27 divided by 81 is 1/3 pa rin. If you notice, all of these are all 1/3, meaning the connectivity of this is having a common ratio of 1/3. So, meron na tayong first ingredients. The second ingredient is the fixed one, which is the term n minus 1. And the last is the first term, which is 243. So, how are we going to simplify this one? Kasi medyo bulky yung 243. By simply apply the formula a sub n is equal to a sub 1 multiplied by r raised to the power of n minus 1. So, what is a sub 1 is 243, r is 1/3. So, ang gagawin natin dito is we will going to simplify this one. Knowing the fact that 243 is came from 3 raised to the power of 5. And 1/3 can be rewrite also by 3 raised to the power of -1. Okay? So that is a matter of rules na meron tayo. So we are going to multiply now negative n and then yung negative dun sa n and negative sa 1. So, ang gagawin mo lang is to multiply all the sign, ipasok lang natin sa parentheses. Therefore, you have 3 raised to the power of 5 is multiplied by 3 or raised to the power of negative n plus 1. Notice, this rule here, if we have the same base, you can simply add the exponent. Okay? If we have the same base, you can simply add the exponent. Pero paano natin i-add ang exponent? Negative n. Ang i-add lang natin sa 5 is equal yung 1 lang. So what is 5 plus 1? 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. So therefore, ang ating rule is a sub n is equal to 3 raised to the power of negative n plus 6. Again, we have to prove this one, whether this is true or not. By proving a sub 5, it should be equal to 3. So paano yon? Papalitan lang natin na a sub 5 is equal to 3. Yung n gagawin nating 5. So therefore, negative 5 plus 6, that is equal to 1. 3 raised to the power of 1 is also 3. So therefore, this is our rule. Okay? In finding this one, kung medyo nahihirapan po tayo sa pag-multiply, sa pag-divide, you can use your calculator in order for you to ease the problem of finding the difference, the quotient, the product, and even the sum of the following number. I hope this lesson teach you a lot. And I hope in the near future, pag may na-encounter kayong problem na ganito, you can solve it in your own. Now it's time for you. And hanggang dito na lang ako. See you on the next vlog.